Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults, by adults, and the views and opinions expressed here do not reflect upon the sponsors or FXBG Public Radio. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned.
Tune the madness, dial the rage. The world's a jungle, stage by stage. Shock Monkey Radio. Feel the static, let it go. Shock Monkey Radio. Twist the dial and lose control.
I had a dream last night, and the dream was that I had a personal robot, AI robot assistant. In fact, we all had personal AI robot assistants. And when, boys being boys, I would mess with EK's robot, he'd mess with mine, and so forth. And like one time I put the language of his robot, his personal assistant, his AI assistant, on Portuguese, and it took him forever to get it changed back and so forth. That was kind of funny. But then, one time when my robot was charging, he put it on cheerful mode. And because mine is older model, it's buggy, and it's buggy because, Microsoft doesn't update, it doesn't cover the version anymore, doesn't update it. You got to get the new stuff in order to, get your updates. So it's buggy, and then it's stuck on cheerful mode. And so I'm like waking up every single day with this robot. Good morning, Madman. What a wonderful day today. It is 41 degrees, heavy rain, high winds, and a possibility of a tornado in your area. Get up and face the day. And he's stuck in this cheerful mode, and it's driving me crazy. I cannot stand it. I'm getting frustrated in the dream. And this is one of these dreams that you're going to end up waking up from. And so what I end up doing is I put the volume on the robot all the way down. I put it all the way down, but you can't go below a certain level because it needs to be able to alert bystanders in case of some sort of emergency. It needs to be able to be heard by people and so forth. And it won't go down below a certain level. So I'm walking around everywhere I go, and every time I comment or say something, there's this cheerful voice just in the background, just very low. Just, you're doing the right thing, Madman. You're doing such a good job. Keep up the good work. And, he's talking to you like the Heart of Gold. Maybe this is the problem. I read too much science fiction. The Heart of Gold in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is real upbeat. Oh, we're going to put you on manual control for a while. Good luck. Just this real cheerful robot, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. And I'm in my sleep, and I'm grumbling. So frustrating. And then finally, I'm getting so mad at this damn robot, I just feel a pain in my chest, and my arm goes numb, and the robot's like, I have to inform you that you are currently experiencing a cardiac event. Please lie down on the ground. I have taken the liberty of alerting medical services to your condition. Please lie down on your back, and I will administer CPR. And that's when I realized there's one of those little bags that the EMTs have, installed in the throat, every one of these robots, so that they can administer CPR to you. And so there's this cheerful robot over me doing CPR. Don't worry, I'm not counting inside my head. Be sure to be ready to breathe. And then, and that's the last thing I see. It's the last thing I see. And so I'm just grumbling in my sleep, and I'm just, Isaac Asimov! And that's how I woke up. Welcome to Shock Monkey Radio. I'm your host, the Madman. I have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. Or you can send me money through Cash App. Use the cash tag shockmonkeyradio, all one word. Or you can follow me on social media up there. So I had robot nightmares. And Isaac Asimov, doesn't that sound like a curse word? It sounds like you get really mad at something. Isaac Asimov! And the little girls, all the kids around, you can say that swear at a Chuck E. Cheese. And all the kids are like, what's Isaac Asimov? Oh, it's this crazy guy who wrote this thing about all these rules about robots and how they malfunction all the time, even with these rules. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a really good idea. But I don't know about robots. I think what was funny is I had that dream, and then I woke up and I saw the marathon bot. I don't know if you saw this in Japan, where the marathon bot we'll get to this in the news, but it just, they spend millions of dollars on these things, and it's just... It's like, why are you doing that? There's so many illegal immigrants here. So why spend $1 million on a personal assistant? You can hire an illegal immigrant right now for way cheaper to dress up like a robot and be your personal assistant. was also thinking about like other sci-fi movies where like door opened, door closed. You know, Star Trek, they didn't do that. They just said whoosh sound, whoosh. And I think that's okay. But when I watch a sci-fi movie and they say pod doors open, pod doors closing. And I think about like these smart homes that people are getting and stuff. Is it going to get to that point where like your toast is ready, coffee is ready, and you're just like walking around your house all day long saying, shut up to all the inanimate objects around you. Maybe it's just me. I don't want a noisy house when I'm home alone. I don't want there to be a whole lot of people talking. You know, I don't want to hear a whole bunch of different voices. I don't want Morgan Freeman's voice on my toaster. I don't want James Gandolfini on my coffee pot. You know, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. Imagine being like, receiving CPR from a robot that had Morgan's Freeman. Just hang on there. We'll get you there. We'll bring you back around. Doing CPR in Morgan Freeman's voice. And that's the last thing you see before you die. No, thank you. I'll pass on that. Robots. You know, we all have computers, right? They all screw up all the time. You know, even with AI, you know, I ask AI to do something like this. I got to ask it 3 or 4 times to get exactly what I want. People are like, let's make robots. Like, let's give them bodies. They're like, what are you doing? That's insane. It's just, you know, my nightmare, my problem maybe, my hang up. All right, so I was talking with some friends the other day about midichlorians. Now, I know a lot of people have ranted about the whole midichlorian things ever since the episode 1 came out. And so I like this meme. What's his name? Meme credit is A Heart of Blades. Good one, but you have an extraneous comma. You didn't need that comma. Yeah, it's the answer you didn't want to a question you never asked. So midichlorians it's an interesting thing because I was thinking about it. You're introduced to it when Qui-Gon tests Anakin, and Anakin, he's like, I'm checking your blood. It's like, see how many midichlorians. He's like, what are midichlorians? And Qui-Gon's like, well, it's kind of like space herpes. You know, what's space herpes? It's almost like a sexually transmitted disease. But no, it isn't really sexually transmitted as per se, right? Because after all, if they're testing every single sentient baby in the galaxy to see if they're force sensitive, so they take them to the academy. So that's what you got. You got Jedis coming to hospitals. You got some new babies here. We got to check them out. Doesn't matter where you are in the galaxy. We got Jedis here, whether it's in the Coruscant, or whether it's Naboo, whether it's Corellia. We're testing all the babies, and we say, we like this baby, and we're taking it. And why you like the baby? Because he has high midichlorians. But apparently, like, midichlorians are natural in all species, all sentient species throughout the galaxy. And that's why they have to test all these young infants and then steal them and go take them to the Jedi Order. And what do they teach them at the Jedi Order? They teach them to be celibate. They teach them to have no attachments, which means no wife, no kids. And that's where Anakin screwed up. Anakin has 2 kids, and they're both really powerful force users. And so that's the problem. It's almost like the midichlorians or chlamydichlorians are some sort of STD that can create more and more problems, because that's why the Jedi have to go and get all the kids, because you have all this natural, they're all almost like carriers, you know. So there's a kind of an association with genes, like recessive and dominant genes. So if you get 2 recessive people and they have babies, and then boom, they pop out a kid like Anakin, and he needs to get tested and trained to be celibate, so that you don't have a huge outbreak where everyone in the galaxy are Jedi. Do you understand what I'm getting at? The Jedi, you may have say, hey man, there was a lot of Jedi in episodes 1, 2, and 3. There was a lot of them. And it's like, yeah, but what the Jedi are doing is they're trying to stop the spread of the Force, almost. And you can even argue that the Sith, after all, that's what the Sith are, right? Naturally occurring Jedi that aren't trained by the Jedi Order and don't follow the Jedi Order's rules, and so they're perceived as the bad guys. But really, what is the Emperor doing? He's like, Darth Vader, go kill all those kids. We're putting them out of their misery. They all have They all have chlamydichlorians, and we're putting them out of their misery. And the Emperor's just like, look at me, Darth Vader. Look at what the Force has done to me. We can't allow this to happen to anybody else. Go put those kids out of their misery. So who's really the good guy? I really don't know. And this is the whole problem with the whole midichlorian debate. And so that was the whole problem. It's like Obi-Wan's trying to stop. It's like I think even in like in the Dago episode 5. In episode 5, Obi-Wan says that the Emperor knew as I did, if Anakin was to have any offspring, they would be a threat to him. So it's kind of like a common known thing in the Jedi world, where if a Jedi has a kid, those kids will be a threat to them. It's like, it's known. That's the way it is. So if you're ever traveling to a galaxy far, far away, be sure to pack those prophylactics. All right, let's do the coin of the week. This is a 5 Swiss Rappin, or 5 Swiss francs. Look how tiny this thing is. Look how tiny it is. It's ridiculous. It's impossible to scratch tickets with this thing. It's impossible. And it's 0% lucky. I won nothing. And it's only worth about 6-7 cents in US dollars. Anyway, it's 5 Swiss Rappin from 2015. It's standard circulating denomination of Swiss franc. It's the lowest denomination that circulates. It has Libertas. That's the face, the Greek guy, the Roman or Greek? Liberty, and the words Confederatio Helvetica, which means the Confederation of Swiss, I think. Swiss Confederation. Mint. Reverse side is a large number 5, surrounded by a wreath of grape leaves, bunches of grapes tied to a ribbon at the bottom. This wreath design has been used on the Swiss 5 Rappin coins for minor variations since 1850. That's from onlinecoin.club. Composition is aluminum bronze, 92% copper, 6% aluminum, 2% nickel. 17.15 millimeters in diameter, 1.8 grams, 1.25 millimeters thick. About 64 million of these coins in regular circulation. Let's see. The face value of the 5 Rappin is 0.05 Swiss francs. It's the smallest currently circulating denomination in Switzerland. 1 and 2 Rappin coins were phased out years ago. Collector's value, very uncommon. Here's a fun fact with this coin. The Rappin is sometimes called Switzerland's least loved coin because of its low value. Many end up in drawers or jars rather than wallets, but the Swiss Mint continues producing them due to demand for cash transactions. So here's the thing. It's like I got these delivered pizzas, and I came to this house, and they look like an Indian or possibly a Pakistani. And I said, hey, if you have any foreign coins, you look like you might be the kind of person who has foreign coins. And they went just rooted in a drawer. I said, oh, I know this thing. These things have been there forever. If you had a whole bunch of them, it would have been cool to have like a whole bunch of them. Because if you had like a whole bunch of these cheap coins and you just like walk the streets of, any downtown area and someone goes, spare change, and you just, and he's like, what am I supposed to do with these? I take them to a bank. I don't know. It seems like a goofy Daniel Tosh joke. Yeah, so it's the coin of the week, Switzerland. I've never been there. I heard it's quite beautiful. And Helvetica is a fantastic font. So based on the font alone, Switzerland might be a nice place to visit. I don't know. Coin of the week. Moving right along, we're going to do 2 movie reviews. That's why I'm got foot on the gas here. First movie we're going to review is called Chariot. It's a 2013 movie. It's not the John Malkovich movie from last year. It's a very different movie. All right. Incredibly low budget. And the thing about like a low budget movie is like you don't really notice until the end. And even then you got to be someone like me who thinks too much about movies. And I'm like, oh, this whole movie took place within the cabin of an airplane. And there were like exterior shots that were clearly CGI, but you only see them through like a phone or through a plane window. So they don't have to be fantastic CGI shots. And so the thing is like there's a bunch of strangers wake up on a plane, like 6 of them, 8 of them, I think. And they have no idea how they got there, and they're flying somewhere they can't access the cockpit. There's a terrorist-looking guy, meaning Muslim-looking guy, who's kind of freaking out, and so they have to beat him up, and they knock him down, and they're like, oh, well, let's better tie him up, because we don't know what the hell's going on here. And it takes a little while, like halfway through the first act, to start like gaining some traction for the viewer. So, like I said, it is like an incredibly low budget movie, BC movie. However, the script is incredibly strong. It's a interesting character study, and like all these different people that you don't know, and they don't know each other. And so it's kind of like the Warriors in that way. It's like you don't know them, but in the Warriors they do know each other. But you get to see is like who's the right person for the right situation and stuff like that. And so I think that's kind of interesting. And like I said, the writing is very, very strong. In particular, what was strong about the writing is that all the characters were genuine and unique. And the problem with, like, for example, the problem with my writing is too many of my characters are similar. But when you write a character, like a bunch of characters in a movie, and they're all very dissimilar, that's fantastic writing. So if you have a low budget script, or if you have a really high quality script and a low budget, you can still make an entertaining movie. So I just want to do a official LOL at all the cell phone hacking that takes place in this movie. Anyone who knows anything about hacking would find it hilarious that, yeah, you could do all that with a cell phone. Yeah, absolutely. Just one smartphone, you could do all that. And you do start seeing that a lot more in movies. It's like, yeah, I could hack in the Pentagon with this thing. No problem. My favorite character is the guy in the middle there, the Cole. He's kind of a black redneck. He's a trucker. He's talks slow and world weary and stoic masculinity. My second favorite character, but he's fantastic in the movie. I really like him. But the terrorist looking guy is my favorite guy because he's most like me. Not the sense that he's a terrorist, but he's a linguist actually. But he keeps making jokes like, yeah, I know why. I don't hold any bad feelings against you guys. I was freaking out because he's scared of flying. I was panicking, had a panic attack, and I was freaked out of flying. I know I look like a terrorist, so you guys beat me up. No hard feelings. And so he's always cracking jokes, and he's the kind of guy in a dire situation that would be cracking jokes just to relieve some tension. I'm the pressure valve kind of character. That's who I am in pressure situations. All right. And so that's why he's my favorite character. His name is Ra. He's hilarious. Yeah, like I said, it's slow to start in noticing the quality of the film, and it's all kind of based upon some conspiracy theory nonsense where, like, yeah, if there's a nuclear war and all these cities start blowing up, it's going to be like a task of government agencies within a certain area to get like the most valuable humans possible into a plane and get them airloft as the attack goes, and like keep them in the air until there's we can find out a place to land all these important people in these areas in one particular place and reform, society. It's conspiracy theory stuff. It may have been like some sort of contingency plan that was pitched at the Pentagon at some point, absolutely. But there is no way our government would do anything like this. And so there's like a conspiracy element to that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is very good writing despite all this. And yeah, 9 of 13 stars, and good writing goes a long way with me. I don't need a whole lot of special effects. In fact, I think we're all getting a little tired of the special effects, especially when you're at a 3-hour movie. And you're like, do we need really all this computer stuff? It's like, well, the guys with the computers work really, really hard on this. They were generating AI stuff all day. Whew! It's exhausting using computers to generate scenes. It's not like it was, 50 years ago where they had to literally build sets and do practical effects. Oh my God. They had it so easy. And every time you watch a modern movie now with all the CGI, the list in the credits is just insane. Insane how many people work on a film. Go watch a movie made in the 1980s and just count the number of names. And then look at the number of names. Hell, this day and age, you can say take the credits of that movie. You can feed that question to AI right now. Don't even bother. Anyway, good writing goes along with me. Let me refill my water here. I was talking about Kevin Smith last week. So I was like, I'm going to watch Zack and Miri make a porno. 2008 movie. And This movie cracks me up every single time. Every single time. And Justin Long, he steals the first act. When they you get an introduction to the characters at the beginning of the movie, Zack and Miri, and then you have the little incident that happens with the granny panties incident. And they go to their high school reunion where they run into Justin Long. And Justin Long sitting there talking with Zack about how it's like, you're an actor. Oh, what kind of movies you been in? I work in movies with all male casts. Oh, like Glengarry Glen Ross? Kind of. More like, I don't want to spoil it. I know I spoiled it in other shows, but he steals the first act, Justin Long, by far. It was so nice to meet you, Zack. And this picture is when they both find out their butts are on the internet and over 200,000 people have seen them. That's kind of like the lead in to how they decide to make a porno because they're broke. And in terms of scripts, Kevin Smith, boy, he can write a comedy. That's for sure. However, the concept of a Boogie Nights type movie has already been done. Obviously, there's a movie called Boogie Nights. And I was thinking about this also in relation to Orgasmo, which is kind of a similar theme movie. And that's also a hilarious movie. But Boogie Nights was serious, and the seriousness of both Orgasmo and Zack and Miri is the seriousness that is it's the drama that takes place within Boogie Nights, which is there's all this sex everywhere and everyone is searching for love. And that's, very interesting angle, but it's been done before. Jason Mewes, I think this was his finest performance. He was hilarious. He was the second funniest character in the movie. Oh shit, I get to have a porn name? It's Lester the Molester McCockage stuff. That's his real name. Yeah, he is also hilarious. And granted, I know a lot of it was Kevin's writing, and he's doing it for his friend. I get it. But Jason Mewes, I mean, he actually performed very well as an actor in that movie. So, well done. It's his finest work. There's tons of little clerk moments where, because they're clerks. They're hanging out in a coffee shop. They're baristas. Where they're filming a scene, and this guy wanders in off the street, just walked out of a Pittsburgh game. Hey, I need some coffee so I can drive home. I was like, you sure you should be doing that? And he walks up to the counter. There's naked people everywhere. There's the cameras, sound gear, and stuff like that all around. And he's like, hey, did you see the game? I was there. Roethlisberger and hug it, chug it, football. That's my favorite. I mean, that's hilarious. That guy made his career off of that one little bit part. And hug it, check it, football. And so, I mean, there's a lot of little clever and bizarre situations in the movie, and then Kevin can really write that and for comedic effect. And you can also do the drama between Zack and Miri. It's like, oh, we've been friends for so long. It's like, we're so broke, we're going to film ourselves having sex so we can make money. And but the whole time they're like, well, we should maybe do a dry run. They're like, no, I don't want to do that, And they finally shoot it, and they're in love, of course. So obviously, Zack and Miri, the actors, Elizabeth Banks and Seth Rogen, they did fairly well. Although I hear they're tough to work with. So credit to their actors, of course. Yeah, Kevin can shoot a drama, and my favorite shot in the movie is that there's a long shot where he pulls back down the hallway of their apartment complex, and Zack's going to the room with the other girl, with Stacy. And Miri's sitting on the couch watching. It was a fantastic shot. Well done. Fish kiss, Kevin. Fish kiss. Because you take the fish and you kiss the fish. Even in the closing. Yeah, I mean, you're getting this drama. Towards the end, you get way more drama than you do jokes. And then you get the emotional climax of the movie. And Zack comes running back to Miri. It's like, I never understood the big emotional connection. And then all of a sudden, you got Jason Mewes coming out, bare-ass naked, full frontal. And you get the Dutch rudder joke, which I don't want to ruin if you haven't seen it. And way to go. Like I said, Kevin can write a comedy. And so it's fantastic. It's like you get this one more joke before the emotional payoff. So even as the guys are sitting there at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, okay, it's ending like a romance all of a sudden. And then, the Dutch rudder, that's hilarious. Anyway. So, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, 2008. It's 11 of 13 stars. Like I said, Boogie Nights has been done before. But adding comedy to the concept is always a good idea, a la Orgasmo. And here's another thing that detracts a star is that in the years since 2008, when this movie came out, I know the politics of a lot of these actors now, and I don't want to. I don't want to know the politics of these actors and dislike their performance because of it. This is another reason why I don't think actors should be spouting off their politics, because I just want to sit there and watch and enjoy a movie and just watch and just enjoy Craig Robinson playing a character. Because now I know his politics and I'm just like, I don't like you all of a sudden. Anyway. Randy St. What was his name? Brandon St. Randy. Oh my God, your granny panties. Give it a picture of me with her. That's why Elizabeth Banks has that look on her face. It's like, but Zack realizes his butt's on the internet and he's really happy. That's how guys and girls react to these things. Let's get into the news worth knowing. Let's talk about the war before the catastrophe in Virginia. So EK fixed the laptop and now I'm having trouble accessing the news. I have to log into everything now. And it takes forever because it's an older laptop. Thank you, EK. Did I say thank you? All right. I may have to pull up the phone for this because I haven't set up the news. Uh-oh. This is not good. All right, now it's going to... No, I don't want to talk about baseball right now. All right, Iran fires on 2 ships in Strait of Hormuz after Trump extends ceasefire. I wish he'd stop doing that. So President Donald Trump extended the ceasefire with Iran through Wednesday. I thought I heard today, it was like, this may be old, but I heard this up to Friday. After peace talks were canceled in Pakistan, U.S. said the ceasefire will continue till Tehran presents a unified proposal to continue Pakistan talks. U.S. has continued to blockade Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz and Arabian Sea throughout the ceasefire. All right. Latest story is that the ceasefire will last 3 to 5 days. Okay. Trump envoy to Turkey doubles down after backlash, pushes peace through strength. Okay. Pezeshkian says Iran to open U.S. deal, blames bad faith for stalled ceasefire talks. He said Wednesday that Tehran remains open to a deal with Washington, but accused the United States of impacting progress through what he calls obstructive tactics. The Islamic Republic of Iran has always welcomed and continues to welcome dialogue and agreement. Bad faith, siege, and threats and main obstacles to genuine negotiation. The world is witnessing your hypocritical, empty talk, your contradiction between your claims and your actions. Wow, a bunch of news stories because didn't we took a ship trying to find it. And then Iran took 2 more today. And so we're going back to piracy. They're going back to piracy. And Trump, I know he wants to, he's got to be he has to have a list of confirmed target deaths, confirmed kills. It's like, we killed so many of them. Do we really have to keep doing it? It's like, yeah, you kind of do. I don't think you understand what zealots are. We don't have many in America. We don't have zealots, but when you're inbred and, not very bright, and there's tons of zealots in a place, with Islam. So, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to I'm serious, total war. Total war. And I know Trump is always concerned about, it's like, we're going to look bad in the face of all this. If we go to total war, if we hit the power plants, if we take Carg Island. And if you do that, if you do those things, you're going to put them on their knees. And I guarantee there's still going to be people fighting. There's still going to be people fighting because that's what zealots do. They think if they die fighting you, they're going to heaven. Send them to heaven. That's how you spin it in the news. They all wanted to go to heaven, so just give them a ticket. We'll see if it'd be honored at the gates. And not every culture in the world thinks the way we do. And you can't think that there's going to get to a point where they're so devastated that they're going to give up. It's not the way of Islam. And so that's my whole problem with this whole thing from the very beginning, is that, even if you get someone else in charge of that country that is quote unquote more sane, are they still going to be Muslim? Then no, you're not getting anyone more sane. And all Iran has to do is be a normal country. and because that's the whole thing. It's like they don't want to give up their nuke program, and they don't want to give up their missiles. And the reason they don't want to give up their missiles is so they can defend their nuke program. And you know why they want a nuke? Well, for energy? No. Yeah, they may use it for some energy, but the byproducts of nuclear energy are fissile materials for nuclear weapons. That's what they want, because they want to threaten the entire world. They want to kill every Jew. They want to kill every non-Muslim in the entire world. Do you understand what Islam is? And let's go on this next story. This is the Travesty in Virginia. Takes a while for it to load modern websites. Reactions pour in Virginia, proving that gerrymandered districts favoring Democrats. This is just terrible. There's no point in me voting ever again in Virginia. So GOP calls out misleading language in the VA ballot question, which might be a basis for a legal challenge. I have heard this already. Democrats' own bold language on the Virginia ballot measure, narrowly approved by voters Tuesday night, may ultimately lead to its own demise, according to Republicans. Republicans and opponents of the state's redistricting referendum argued voters were misled by the language that they were asked to approve. The question, quote, should the Constitution of Virginia be amended to allow the General Assembly to temporarily adopt new congressional districts to restore fairness in the upcoming elections while ensuring Virginia's standard redistricting process resumes for all future redistricting after the 2030 census? GOP leaders and anti-referendum advocates pointed to what they called misleading and even dishonest ballot wording as possible basis for continued legal action. That gives opponents a clear post-election lane, challenge not just the politics and the maps, but the fairness and legality of the referendum process itself. Okay, so they're going to move ahead with some legal things to stop this, because this is, you see, the map. That's the new map. All those blue areas. If you live in the blue area of Virginia, and you vote conservative, don't even bother. Don't bother going to the polls. And let's see. Trump blasted the Virginia ballot measure on Wednesday, calling referendum language purposely unintelligible and deceptive. The Democrats eked out another crooked victory. Trump wrote on Truth Social, 6-5 goes to 10-1. And that's the issue right there. With this one question and the idiots who voted yes to this, I kind of want to drown them all. I'm kidding. The idiots who voted for this they simply don't understand what they did. There was a 6-5 majority Democrat in Virginia. But with this one little question where they manipulated all their idiots and possibly a bunch of illegal immigrants voting for it as well, they changed a majority, like 10-1 majority for the Democrats in the state of Virginia, the capital of the Confederacy in the Civil War. I'm not saying that it has anything to do with it, but we should be a red state. And places like Richmond and Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads, they need... I really hate the whole idea of representation based upon population. It's incredibly stupid. All right, AOC congratulates Virginia for way to go, and so does Obama. And man, I'm glad those commercials are over, but I hate it. When Obama came on there and told you to vote yes, didn't every single Virginia, didn't something inside you say no? You are the second worst president of my lifetime. The first being Joe Biden. You held open the door. Joe Biden kicked it open. And so people are like, oh, you want to get a robot? And it's like, why? Democrats just took over Virginia. Slave labor is going to be cheaper than ever now. All right. Let's get slowly into lighter subjects. Slowly. Let's talk about the Chinese marathon robot. This kind of started this whole thing. Like I said, takes Chinese marathon robot falls, breakdances itself to pieces. Now, this is written by Matt Riegel. Forgive me if I mispronounced your name, sir, but can I speak to your editor, Mr. Matt Riegel of Outkick? Does anyone edit anymore? Does anyone edit? This is one of the most terrible articles I have ever read. All right, and I want to say your name one more time, Matt Riegel, because I wanted to read this article, but unfortunately, you interjected yourself so much into the article, I can't separate you from it. This is why it was like, where are the editors? All right, here's what Matt wrote. Ah, great, now I can't go up. That's right, the up key doesn't work on this. I'm always keeping a very close eye on the state of robotics. I'm equally excited and terrified by it. On one hand, I'd love to have a robot around the house so it could fold my laundry and make me feel like George Jetson. On the other hand, I feel like it would need is one bad day or a bum software update to turn on me and hold me hostage or steal my credit card info. But that's quite a way off. Right now, we are at the make robots compete in marathons phase of development. However, not everyone is sticking the landing on this. China has been really big on robotics, and one broke the human marathon record in Beijing. Meanwhile, another one had malfunctioned in spectacular fashion. You can find this video if you like. It's what you expect. It's a robot spazzing out. As soon as I saw a robot walking, I knew it was doomed. It just had too much of a dopey walk, and jeez Louise. And sure enough, as soon as it encountered one of those little plastic speed bump things that used to hide wires, it went down hard. But things got wild when the robot started to break. He began the sentence with "but." I know I do it a lot because I'm, speaking. But geez, you're a writer. But things got wild when the robot started breakdancing and bashing itself into a million robotic pieces. In a side note, remember that lady at the Olympics that was like breakdancing and everyone made fun of her? She was actually breakdancing. I've considered this now that I saw this robot. The robot wasn't attempting to breakdance. All right. The robot just broke. All right. The lady at the Olympics who did the breakdancing routine, I think she actually was breakdancing because she was attempting to breakdance. All right. If I try to waltz and I don't do it well, am I still dancing or not? Anyway, it's another question for Isaac Asimov. Speaking of which, his article goes on. He goes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be Isaac Asimov, but I don't think robots should fall over and then rip themselves to shreds while thrashing on the ground. That's just my 2 cents. This guy's in love with himself, isn't he? Also, I like that they have one of those flimsy-looking soccer stretchers and that 2 dudes run in with wow. Also, I like that they have one of those flimsy-looking soccer stretchers that 2 dudes run in with whenever a player fakes an injury on standby in the event of a robo mishap. In this case, I'm not sure how useful the stretcher would be. I guess you could put its twitching legs on the stretcher, but everything else may as well have been swept up and thrown in the robo dumpster. I feel like I've been a little mean to the other writers before. That maybe I was a little too harsh because I didn't realize how bad it gets. I realize this is Outkick and it's an article for Fox through Outkick, but I hope this guy's not getting paid more than I. See, I can edit in real time, and I put the onus of myself as far away in the end of it as I can. It's like, Madman, you talk about yourself all the time. It's like, yeah, but this is not a news program. If you come to me for news, you're insane. This is editorializing. All right. Let's go to this next story. This Florida inmate, death row, executed. Florida death row inmate uses last words to maintain innocence before execution. Chadwick Scott Willesee, 58, was pronounced dead after a lethal injection at Florida State Prison in Rayford. Yay. Chadwick Scott Willesee, convicted of first-degree murder for setting his elderly neighbor on fire after she allegedly caught him burglarizing her home. He maintained his innocence right before being executed by the state of Florida on Tuesday. Quote, to the victim's family, I hope this brings you peace. If it does, that's good, Willesee said, according to the Associated Press. But this is not right, he went on to say. The state pronounced the 58-year-old dead at 6:15 p.m. after administering him a 3-drug lethal injection at the Florida State Prison. Willesee was convicted in 1991 for the 1990 murder of 56-year-old Marlise Sather, according to court documents. Free room and board for over 30 years for this guy. On September 5th, 1990, Sather had returned home from work to find Willesee, her next-door neighbor, burglarizing her Palm Bay home. Willesee then bludgeoned her head, tied her hands and feet with wire and duct tape, and choked and strangled her with a cord with a force so intense that a portion of her skull was dislodged, according to court documents. He then took her ATM card and figure out how to make the up arrow key work. He took her ATM card and her card to withdraw money from her bank account. When he returned, he disabled her smoke detectors, covered her in gasoline, and set her on fire with matches, placing a fan at her feet to provide more oxygen to the fire, according to court documents. Sounds like you can't even plead insanity. That's pretty premeditated, dude. I don't even like the insanity defense, but that's premeditated as hell. This isn't right. Get out of here. Autopsy reports determined that Sathy's death was from smoke inhalation, indicating she was still alive when he set the fire. Sather's family wrote, according to the independent Florida Alligator, quote, we have waited 36 and a half years for justice for our mother. That's an injustice in itself. The pain has been unbearable without her and with us every day. Family also indicated her death occurred just weeks after she lost her husband to cancer. Willesee maintained his innocence, saying he would never kill his friend. So he says he was friends with her. He did, however, express remorse to his family and told his brothers on the road to stay strong. Per the APR, yeah, he's been there so long he knows everybody. He was ejected with 3 drunk commitment, but he's dead. He should have been dead 36 years ago. At much less cost to the taxpayer. It just irritates me. It's like, the law rarely errs in that direction. 36 and a half years on death row. How many appeals do you think that was? How much money do you think was wasted for the taxpayers in those 36 and a half years? Just to give this guy a second chance after second chance after second chance to prove his innocence. And it's only under the weight, the overwhelming weight of this evidence that he's finally put to death after 36 and a half years. It's insane. It's insane what we're doing, what the justice system is doing. And it's, like I said, it rarely errs in that direction. It's like, oh, innocent person got put to death, which is really only something that happens in the movies. Okay? That's the most dramatic thing in, like, when it involves, like, law and order in movies. It is like, oh, it's an innocent man on death row. You know how rare that is? How incredibly rare that is? It's incredibly high drama. It's incredibly frequent when it comes to movies and entertainment, because it's the highest level of drama when it comes to convicted persons, convicted persons. And if anything, the error of law and judgment in law is always in the favor of the criminal. It's like, well, we can't really put him to death because he only murdered 2 people. And we should give him a second chance. Let's give him 10 years in prison for murdering 2 people. Because that's what's happening. Charges get dismissed. Judges going lenient, like knocking off years of off sentences because they feel bad for where they're going. Oh, he may have murdered somebody, but he's got his own life to live. It's like, screw the guy who murders. What about the murdered? I'm getting a little angry. Let's go to the 2 happier stories, and then we'll get out of here. Maybe a little early. So you want to spill some tea? You want to get involved in some girl drama? Because this is hilarious. Because, wow, women. When women versus women happens, man, wow. Guys, when guys have disagreements, they'll fight it out, and then they're having beers like 10 minutes later. But women. Anyway, so here we go. Bride's sister-in-law douses her in black paint moments before ceremony in horrifying revenge attack. Ongoing family feud leads to criminal charges, suspended prison sentence for the attacker. Suspended the prison sentence. See what I mean? A British bride has battled depression and has been unable to work in nearly 2 years since she was drenched in black paint by her spiteful sister-in-law. The attack occurred moments before she was slated to walk down the aisle to wed her childhood sweetheart, the climax of her revenge attack amid an ongoing feud. Gemma Monk, a mother of 2, was looking forward to marrying her now husband, Ken Monk, in May 2024. She was walking with her father on a cream-colored carpet at the venue in Maidstone, England, so the carpet got ruined too. When someone called out her name. Seconds later, she was splashed with black paint. She told Kent Online in an article published Friday. Seconds later? How long does it take to throw paint? Realizing the attacker was her sister-in-law, Antonia Eastwood, who is married to Gemma's older brother, Ashley, Gemma grabbed her by the hair, but Eastwood managed to get away, and the bride was left distraught and in tears. Sorry. This has been a dramatic impact on my life, Monk told Kent Online on Wednesday, after Eastwood was sentenced by a British court for 2 offenses of criminal damage. Even while I was providing this statement at the police station, I got extremely emotional and started crying while talking about the incident. Obviously, you're a woman. You forgot the quotations at the end of that paragraph. Since the incident, if it wasn't for my children or my family, I don't think it would have gotten out of bed to take care of myself. I've lost all dignity and good habits in my life. I have lost who I used to be. This has turned my most special day of my life into the worst memory, one I'll never forget, and neither will my family. Being a little overdramatic, aren't you? Yeah. All right. The attack occurred after Monk had lost significant weight during a cancer scare, though she had been given a clean bill of health. Monk said that her sister-in-law knew about the medical struggle at the time, but still decided to ruin the most important day of my life and put me at risk. Eastwood, 49, had been banned from the wedding following a feud that stemmed from her own nuptials, during which Monk was accused of trying to trip up Eastwood. The plot thickens. In court, Eastwood was handed a 10-month prison sentence, suspended for 12 months. What in the world does that mean? That math does not make sense. Eastwood was handed a 10-month prison sentence, suspended for 12 months. How do you serve negative 2 months in jail? How do you do that? The law is so screwed up. The math doesn't even make sense. She was ordered to perform 160 hours of community service. Is 160 hours of community service, is that minus 2 months in jail? I know this is England, but holy cow. This is meant to be a special day for Gemma Monk and her family. Courtesy of your conduct, it has turned into a nightmare. Judge Oliver Saxby told Eastwood before imposing the sentence. Eastwood's husband, Ashley, was once Ken Monk's best friend and actually introduced him to Gemma when they were 14. Despite the attack, she scrubbed the paint from her face and body into the changing room and borrowed a dress fetched by an usher so she can marry a partner of more than 20 years. What's up, PK?
160 hours.
160 hours? Is that 2 months?
It's 20 8-hour shifts.
28-hour shifts over
so
2 months?
That over 1 month. If you think
so
about
1 month?
5 days. If you're working 5 days a week, 8 hours, that's 160 hours in a month.
Okay.
So
go make up a spreadsheet. Go make a spreadsheet for me so I can understand. Because the math isn't working out. EK's trying to explain it to me. Like I said, I had trouble with taxes this year. I was like, EK, what do I do? All right. We waited for that day so long, nothing was going to stop me. I did not think, I would have walked down the aisle in my knickers with black paint over my face if I had to. Yeah. I ain't going to let the elevator bring us down. Oh, no, let's go crazy. Let's get nuts. No, the state of Prince is going to sue me now. All right. However, Monk, who is a mental health worker, she knows how to game the system. She has since suffered from depression and has been unable to work. In a statement to the court, she said the incident changed her outlook on life and made me question whether I'd done something really bad, whether I'd done something wrong. Couple also called off a planned honeymoon to the Maldives, because Gemma wasn't up to it. She knows how to work the system. I had a gut feeling, a bad feeling that something was wrong when I got out of the car with my dad, but it must have been nerves. Yeah, it was probably just nerves. Will never accept her apology, though I thought the sentence was too light. She should have received at least 23 months. Is that 23 positive 23 months or negative 23 months? And how would that equal into hours? I'll check the spreadsheet later. And wait for I'm starting to think that she tried to trip her sister-in-law at her wedding. That's what I think. I don't know if this is the best revenge. It seems like taking it to a new level. But I definitely think that she tried to trip her at her wedding, and so as revenge, she threw black paint on her dress at her wedding. Wow, women, when they hold a grudge, they hold a grudge. I could tell you about my first girlfriend once, if you want to. She may be watching, so I don't want to put her out there like that. But she cheated on me, and I'm the asshole. I can't communicate with her anyway. Let's go to this last story. Lego Bandit accused in bizarre $34,000 scheme replacing minifigures with pasta. Don't overcook the puns on this one. Jarrell Augustine allegedly swiped valuable minifigures for dried pasta before returning the boxes to Target. You'll get away with this for a little while, but sooner or later they're going to put two and two together. California man allegedly cooked. Here we go. Allegedly cooked up a bizarre Lego theft scheme, but police said it came apart piece by piece. That's not bad. Jarrell Augustine, 28, of Paramount, is accused of buying Lego sets from Target, removing valuable minifigures and pieces, and returning the boxes after filling them with dried pasta. Fine sets. Investigators linked him to roughly 70 thefts nationwide, totaling about $34,000 in losses. The Irving Police Department said detectives used surveillance to identify Augustine as a suspect, and he was taken into custody and booked into the Orange County Jail on grand theft charges. Have you ever watched those body cam videos where somebody steals from Target or Walmart, and then they take the person into the loss prevention office? Do you see all the cameras? Do you see how serious they are about protecting their merchandise? Why would you do this? Even if it's like, oh, I'm returning, it looks all innocent enough, but sooner or later somebody's gonna be like, hey, we bought Lego sets. There's nothing but a bunch of elbow macaroni in here. They're gonna figure it out. They can go record footage and go back and figure out who was doing this. Anyway, he was taken into custody and booked in Orange County Jail on grand theft charges. Police shared the details of the case on social media posts and added a humorous warning about the unusual method. That means puns, right? If your master plan involves swapping Legos for linguine, you could promise your plan will be cooked al dente. Irvine police said in a Facebook post. Do you have to take a puns 202 to get a social media manager job? Anyway, video released by police appears to show the suspect taking Lego sets from the store shelf and walking out. Are those the pieces? Those look pretty cool, man. If I was a kid, I'd want those. Very detailed. Stormtroopers and stuff. Yeah, nice. The footage then shows officers placing him under arrest in a body camera video. The unusual case also drew reactions online, with some social media users leaning into the humor. This case has many possibilities. Good for IPD, using their noodle, one commenter wrote. You mean to tell me he was an imposter? I'll see myself out, another joked. And others questioning the method. One user writing, stealing Legos and Goya beans? WTF. Do you think it's like an impulse people can't control? Hey, EK, when you do puns, can you control that impulse? Okay, he says he doesn't want to. He can control it, so I don't know. I think maybe, you're smarter than most people, and there's some people who just can't avoid it. It's like they read a story like this, it's like, how do I, what what kind of pasta puns can I come up with? And I don't know. It gets me boiling mad. You know, it's like you guys are just throwing anything against the wall to see what sticks. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. This is going to be the end of the show. I want to remind you again that I have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/shockmonkey, become shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. I'd very much appreciate it. Or you can send me money through Cash App. Use the hashtag shockmonkeyradio, all one word. Follow me on social media at DNALETSAW. That's the word wasteland spelled backwards on Twitter. At SLRobbins13 on Instagram. And Shock Monkey Radio Redux on Facebook. This has been Shock Monkey Radio. I'm the Madman, and I love you.
The madman